There we go. That should be my mic. Hello, if you're listening to this in post, if you're watching the VOD of this, feel free to skip ahead. There's a timer on the screen. Just setting up. Hello, hello. As people are filtering in, feel free to grab a drink. I don't know, settle in. It's the bathroom, whatever you gotta do. Hello, triple person. Welcome back. Nice to see you here. Yeah, nice to have you here. I've been trying to be more consistent about streaming every week because I do have a definite goalpost I'm trying to reach by the end of this year. So I'm trying not to skip weeks for no reason, but doing my best to keep the same time slot. I think we're staying on Tuesdays, as far as I know, until things get worse and or better. Hey, what's up, Mango Cheesecake? Nice to see you here. We're just about to start. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another live stream of the 99 More series, where we hope to cover 99 more tabletop RPGs. This week is one of many games I was introduced to while going to PAX Unplugged. this past December, marking the year 2024. I made, before I went to PAX Unplugged, I made this little map that, I should have put that on the screen, but that's so fine. That's okay. I made this little map that pointed to where every tabletop RPG booth was in the PAX Expo Hall. And M. Alan Hall, the author of this game, was one that I wasn't familiar with. So I made it a point to visit that one and was introduced to the wonderful author who made time to talk about the games that they've made and the supplements they've designed. So I've chosen to thank the author for their time by covering one of their games, which looks really, really interesting. It is called GODSPARK. You have their spark, don't waste it. As I understand, it is a game that is a hex crawl for 1 to 2 players. There's going to be a couple of dice rolls to determine direction, things like that. I don't know too much about it. I do know the very bare minimum I need to navigate the book and know where everything is, but otherwise I'm entirely in the dark about this. And like all the other games I read in the stream, it's basically my first time reading it. We're going in blind and seeing what we gain from it. This is the first month in a while that I've been able to stream all 4 Tuesdays in a month, like all 4 weeks without having to cancel due to being sick or being away. So I'm really trying to hit that marker, really trying to get there, get to the 99 goalpost, the finish line by the end of this year. So we are on pace to do that. As a marker, we have to cover, if I'm doing my math correctly, 39 games this year. So 39 out of 52 weeks. There has to be a stream, which means I only get 13 weeks off. And I'm kind of trying to keep those for vacations and just sick days and things like that. But I'm really excited that I was able to cover 4 games this month, and I emailed like 7 people to see if I could cover their games over February and March. So I'm really excited. A couple people have already responded, which makes me really thrilled to just have the next couple of weeks already planned out. Isn't that crazy? Look at me being professional, actually covering this. That's, I'm gonna say hi to Chad before we jump into this. Hello, all of my familiar faces. Triple Person, Mango Cheesecake, Thumper, welcome back. Wink Chin, hello again. Wiseman 303, it's nice to see you here. I don't know Triple Person. Usually when I play solo games, I end up dying somehow. That was the trend in Call of Cthulhu, I believe. That's the trend in Derelict Delvers. In Exclusion Zone Botanist, I'm pretty sure I died. There's a lot of different situations. I don't think this one I'm going to perish, but we'll see, I'm sure. So without further ado, let's jump into GODSPARK by M. Alan Hall and learn more about it. Now, you can find this game on itch.io. It's available as a digital PDF. I don't know if the physical copies are available. We'll have to check their website for it, but this is where you can find it. First and foremost, M. Alan Hall has made a number of things. On their itch.io page, they're currently highlighting their tabletop RPG Sprinkles is missing, as well as Grumpster is missing, which is a crossover with the Triangle Agency, which we've covered before. They have a number of games that focus specifically on solo role-playing games, so one-player games are located here, and they've also made plenty of supplements to The Lost Bay, Morkborg, also Cyborg, and Liminal Horror. These were a bunch of the games featured in physical copies over at PAX Unplugged that I got to browse. But GODSPARK was the game that certainly caught my attention above everything else, so that's what we're going to be reading today. The author again, it's M. Alan Hall. You can find their stuff on malanhall.com. No dots anywhere. And you can see all the things that they're working on here, which is really cool. So, with the game, let's see if I've loaded it up. Come on, Savvy. There it is. All right. This game is relatively short, which is nice. A nice little read. We could probably get through most of the information in one stream. I do want to try to test run the rolling system and the mapping system. I do have this little thing on the side. Is it on the side? We'll find out. Side. Yeah, this little thing on the side that we might be using sometime today with my truly medieval... what is it? Primeval? What's the word when something's really, really old? I'm using paint. I'm sorry, it's not more sophisticated than that. Maybe I can like, can I do something savvy? Oh, if I do this, it almost looks professional. Let me just fix it up. Anyway, this is not something we'll be looking at yet. We're going to be looking at it later. And this is something necessary for playing the game. So we'll take care of that. Primitive. Thank you, Winkchin. That's exactly what I was thinking of. Yeah. I will someday, one day, use more modern tools of streaming. But right now, this is fine for me. Let's go. GODSPARK. This is a general gameplay loop of how you play this game. This goes round and round until the game is finished. We're not going to go here first. We're going to go to the rest of the book just to get an idea of what the energy, what the story of this game is. And then when we finally want to try to run a round or two, we'll go back to this gameplay procedure and see what we can get done. This game, as you can tell, is not too long. I believe the spreads, let me see, pages format. Yeah, there's 32 pages, counting the title page here. So compared to our 100 plus, 200 plus reads we've had recently, this is much quicker. Let's go. What you need to play, this PDF, a saint sheet, which I'm guessing is this. Yes. At least one, preferably 3, or as many as 8 D6s. We'll need a standard 52 card deck of playing cards with the jokers removed. Okay, we'll have to find a deck of cards sometime between now and the end of stream. 2 tokens for tracking movement, 1 for the map, and 1 for the godfalls. Tokens may be coins, stones, or more dice, pencil or erasable pen. And of course, D6 is a 6-sided die. D66, contrary to popular belief, is not a 66-sided die. It's 2 6-sided die where one die is the first number and the other die is the second number. NPCs are non-player characters, as we're very well familiar. All right. Let's do a little bit of reading. Let's get into the mindset of what this game is about. And if I mispronounce something, I'm doing my best. All right, here we go. Ruina Dei, a purgatorial space of dead gods and living saints. You are a saint granted new life by the last of your god's power, a godspark. That power is fading. Soon your god will be gone, and so will you. To survive, you will need to collect more godsparks. You do not need food, you do not need water, you do not need air, you only need godsparks. You will not be the only one looking for them. Other living saints of other dead gods travel the cracked surface of Ruina Dei, their eyes scouring the sunless sky above, waiting for the next godfall. When they spot a falling god, they race towards it, hoping to be the first to pillage godsparks from the corpse as the god's last bits of energy spawn new saints and angels. Saints will be left alone, as they will most likely fade before they understand what they are. Angels are another story. These powerful creatures, bent on protecting their creators, refuse to be ignored. Either destroy them and take their sparks, or run and hope they cannot find you. Here you are, standing next to the corpse of your deity, their spark burning in your chest. You must make your way through the god's body and collect what scraps the other saints have left behind. You must move quickly, for you will need those sparks for what comes next. A shadow looms high over the horizon. Interesting. Cool. So if I'm following, right, if we do this real simple, Ruina Dei is a space we exist where there are gods that are dead and saints that are alive. We are one of those saints, and we want godsparks. Godsparks are the very important thing of this game. We need these to survive. We need these to live. When gods die, they drop godsparks, kind of like a holy loot system, as you would say. When a god falls, you must collect all of the godsparks, and from what I understand, you collect them to make sure that other people don't take them, because other saints will want to look for them. And angels will be trying to destroy you in protection of their god. So you have 2 enemies here, saints and angels, and you yourself are a saint. Great. Godfall. The body of a dead god as it descends from the heavens above Ruina Dei. 2. The same body after it has landed on the surface of Ruina Dei and become a source of divine energy required by the denizens of that plane. Sounds good to me. Strong, easy pitch. GODSPARKS. Godsparks are collected while exploring Godfalls. They might be found whole, but they usually exist as fragments. In the narrative of the game, fragments are absorbed by your saint as they are found. For the player, fragments will be tracked in the fragment die position on the saint sheet. Okay, we're collecting fragments, which are Godsparks. On the saint sheet, places where Godsparks can be used are indicated by checkboxes. Oh, so you can't follow my cursor. That's a mistake. Here-ish. There it is. Yeah. You can track which positions have been filled by checking your shading in the squares. Be sure that you're using a pencil or erasable pen, for no Godspark is permanent. When a Godspark is lost, it fades. Fade is an important word, apparently. Godsparks can be used to perform miracles, use relics, and engage in unholy violence. Their general rule when your saint is using their Godsparks is that you roll a d6 for each Godspark required for that action. Rolling a 1 causes the Godspark to fade, and this may cause the action to fail. When the Godspark fades, erase the mark in that box on the saint sheet. Okay. Sure. So Godsparks are not only your vitality, but also your resource for doing cool miracles or engaging in unholy violence. The only way to lose a Godspark is to roll a 1 when trying to use it. So 1 in 6 chance of losing your Godspark, but you need a certain amount of them to do certain things. Cool. And they're not meant to be permanent. You're supposed to like either keep collecting them and losing them and things like that. There's 2 special positions on the saint sheet. Let's see if we can do it like this. Put the words here. Yeah. And then paint over here. Maybe. Can I move it? I can. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Innovation. There are 2 special positions on the saint sheet, indicated by the 2 squares with 6 circles. I'm guessing it's these. Representing the 6 pips of a d6. This is a life die and the fragment die. Oh, here and here. And these are the only positions where partial Godsparks are used. Your saint starts with 1 Godspark. Sure. Place the d6 in the life die position with the 6 on top. Right. Oh, alternatively, you can fill in all 6 pips. When you collect your first Godspark fragment, place the d6 in the fragment die position with a 1 on top. Oh, okay. So that makes sense. So on this sheet, these the 6, you can just put a die here. Basically, you can put a 6-sided die here and slowly change a number. Life die starts at 6. Godsparks, when you collect the Godspark, starts at 1. For each fragment selected, turn the d6 to show the next higher pip. Makes sense. Once 6 fragments have been collected, remove the d6 from the saint sheet and place a mark in the unfilled available Godspark position. Remove the d6 from the saint sheet and place a mark in an unfilled available Godspark position. Oh, okay. So the goal is to collect 6 fragments of a Godspark to make 1 Godspark. Am I following? I think that makes sense, right? So collect 6 and then you get 1 and then erase all of them. That Godspark is now available to perform miracles. If you happen to collect multiple fragments, these complete a Godspark, mark a new available Godspark, then return the d6 to the fragment die position and add the remaining fragments. Sure, so the number rolls over. If all the available Godspark positions are filled, leave the fragment die in a position with the 6 on top until you use it. Once you have 6 or more available Godsparks, you're ready to perform an Ascension miracle. Okay. I'm assuming that's important. So it sounds to me like we're going to be collecting a lot of these fragments. Apparently up to 36 to get 6 Godsparks. And then once I have 6, I'll perform the Ascension miracle. So that's our win condition, I guess, to perform this Ascension miracle. Sure. Okay. Oops. Whoops. Why is that not locked? Why is that layer not locked? All right, let's bump this over here. See if we can tuck this in. Okay. I'm really playing with the layout today. Items that your saint can acquire during play are called relics. Relics. There are 3 types of relics: weapons, armor, and transport. You may only carry as many relics at one time as there are spaces on the saint sheet. Okay, so it sounds like 2 weapons, armor, and transport. Yeah. That's right here. That's right here. If you find a relic but have no space for it, you must leave one behind or give one to an apostle. Okay. Each relic has a power indicated by the boxes to the right of their space on the saint sheet. The power of the relic determines the number of dice that are rolled when a relic is used. Okay. If any relic die rolls a 1, the item is damaged. Reduce its power by the number of 1s rolled. When the last die rolls a 1, the relic breaks and is lost. Got it. As the purgatorial Ruina Dei has no native society, culture, or technology, relics can have any flavor you would like. Sounds good. And these, I'm going to hide the sheet for a second, are examples of weapons, armors, and transports. These are pretty straightforward. They have these neat names like Flame, Flail of the Penitent, and Inquisitor's Executioner with power 2 and power 3. So that determines how many d6s you roll when you swing with it, I'm assuming. Armor and transports over here. Okay, so this is how to navigate that grid map that we saw. Let's look into it. While there is no time in Ruina Dei, there's a progression of events that move the game forward. These events are tracked in rounds. The Godfall countdown on the saint sheet tracks the rounds and determines what events occur during each round. See the gameplay procedure and the gameplay example? Okay, sure. The game opens with your saint awakening beside the corpse of Triamba. Triamba. Deity. You begin the game by exploring Triamba's godfall, searching for any godsparks that may have been left behind by the other saints. In subsequent rounds, you will have the choice to either travel across Ruina Dei or explore a godfall level. You will need to decide if you fully explore each godfall, or if you leave one early so that you can reach the next one before it has been picked over by the other saints. Okay. I don't know what that looks like yet, but I'm sure I will. The top row of the godfall countdown. So let's start looking at that. Godfall countdown. So right here, this bar over here. This strength's over here. Top row of the godfall countdown tracks the rounds of the game. Cross these numbers off to mark your game's progress. At the end of round 16, you must perform the Ascension Miracle or face martyrdom. I don't know what that means yet, but I must assume that that's the bad ending, right? So we have 16 rounds to get through this game to perform the Ascension Miracle or face martyrdom. After Triamba, each Godfall row begins with an X. Oh, what does that mean? Let's see. So there's Triamba. Let me what? There's Triamba here. And then there's Munjor. And then there's Gemma. And then there's Andraxen. So I don't know what that means yet. X equals roll 66 for location of X Godfall. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's read through this and then we'll try to break it down what this means. After Triamba, each Godfall row begins with an X. During this round, a looming shadow in the sky marks the arrival of the next Godfall. Roll a d66 to determine its location. Mark it on the map. There's no need to reroll duplicates. Got it. After the ground has been marked with an X, the Godfall hits the ground. It can now be explored. It's important to find and circle and explore Godfalls quickly. Circle the number in the Godfall row. Circle the number in the Godfall row in the first round that you enter that Godfall. This number determines how much of the Godfall other saints have scavenged and how many areas you'll be able to explore in each level. Okay, so let's... What a whale fail is? I don't know. Triple person, should I trust you on that? What a whale fail is? I will not do that. I'm making an executive decision. Don't know what it is. And every time I pull up a video, I get a copyright strike. So I'm good. I'm fine. So let's look at this one more time. Right? Look at this paint picture, right? So this is the concept. This is the vision. Triamba falls on round 1, right? And that's number indicates how many GODSPARKs are in there. So that's 4. 4 is a really good number, right? Now, next round, Moonjor falls. On round 2, Moonjor falls. Triple person. Yeah, don't show it on stream. Thank you. Thank you for your advisement. Oh. Okay, well. Anyway, Moonjor falls round 2, then I'll roll a d66 to place it somewhere on this map. So say I roll a 3 and a 2, Moonjor would land right here. If I can get to this spot in 3 rounds, say 1, 2, 3, it takes me 3 rounds to get there. When I get there, I'll circle this, and that means there's 4 GODSPARKs still in Moonjor. The later rounds I arrive there, the less GODSPARKs there are available to collect. So you have to make the executive decision. Do you stay in Triamba to collect all 4 GODSPARKs, or do you rush over to Moonjor to preserve how many GODSPARKs are available in that facility, right? And then you see Gemma drops round 6, and Draxon drops round 10. So it's this race against time to scavenge as much as you can from these falling gods. Interesting. Okay, that makes sense to me. And I think that explains the whole character sheet, right? Well, I don't know the death section. I've yet to really examine what this is, but I know what this is. I know what this is. I know what this was. I know what this is. I know these. I don't know apostles yet. So death and apostles is what I'm looking for next. Okay, cool. The Godfall countdown. Top row of the Godfall countdown tracks the rounds of the game. Cross these numbers off to mark your game's progress. Right, we read this. Yes, we read this. Cool. Exploring Godfalls. A god is more of an idea than a creature. Do you want me to do this little wavery thing? You know how some YouTubers like keep things moving to keep your attention, but only slightly so that you can still read it? It's like a retention tactic. So people stay focused on your video because you're moving it around. I'm not gonna do that. Okay. A god is more of an idea than a creature. While they may have a face and arms and legs on the outside, on the inside they are a labyrinthine expanse, claustrophobic rooms and sprawling spaces. You may walk from a tight, stone-walled ceremony chamber into an overgrown field with a blue sky above. Cross the field, and you find yourself in a cave surrounded by glittering glowworms. Each godfall has a unique set of areas and encounters, and these are explored as a series of levels. So basically every god is its own little world. If you start around in the same hex as a godfall, you may explore a godfall level. Deal a row of cards face down. For the first level of each godfall, deal a number of cards equal to the circled number for this godfall. Yes, on the godfall countdown. So say we get it, you know how that goes. That makes sense. So if you get to Moonjor on round 5, it'll have 4, right? Wait, if you get to round 5, it'll have 4 GODSPARKs. So that means when you choose to explore, you deal 4 cards. Each level after the first gets 1 additional card to a maximum of 6. Each godfall has 4 levels, though you do not need to explore all 4 if you are ready to move on to the next godfall. Okay, cool. To explore a godfall level, flip over the first card in the row and move your token onto it. Refer to the godfall events tables in the divinary to see what happens in this area of this particular god. Once the event has been resolved, you may perform miracles before moving to the next area. After you explored all the areas of this level, or if you leave while escaping from an angel, the round ends. Oh, interesting. So, rounds are not just moving from one square to the next. A round is exploring the entirety of a god. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So once you're in a god, you can traverse all 4 levels within 1 round, if you so choose. Traveling Ruina Dei. If you begin a round in a hex that does not contain a godfall, or if you are finished with a godfall and want to move to another godfall, you will travel. Move your token to an adjacent hex. You may also use your transport relic to travel farther. Roll d6s to the power of your saint's transport 1, 2, or 3. For every die that is rolled 2 or greater, move your token by an additional hex. Reduce that transport's power by the number of dice that rolled a 1. Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. So you travel faster with higher transport. Okay, so that's traveling, that's navigating. And then if we enter some sort of combat, is what I'm assuming unholy violence is. Let's figure out what this is. Angels are zealous defenders of their godfalls, created in the cataclysmic release of energy that occurred at the moment of their god's impact onto Ruina Dei. They lurk within the godfalls, bent on protecting the remnants of their god's power. Engaging with angels is a dangerous task. Saints must carry relics to protect themselves at all times, as angels attack saints on sight. Angels come in 3 power levels as described below. In each round of unholy violence, the angel always acts first, and they always attack. Use the procedures on the next page when encountering angels. So these are the different stats of the angels. A whisperer has 6 health, 1d6 attack, and 3 fragments. Scion is superhuman, 12 pips, 2d6, and 6 fragments. That's a huge haul. And then Aspect is a miniature copy of a god with 18 pips, 3d6 attack, 9 fragments, and you don't want to fight this one, basically. God-specific effects, see the divinary. Alright, so when a angel is attacking you, roll all of the angel's attack dice. Out of the total number rolled, this is the total attack damage. Yep. Roll d6s equal to your saint's armor. If you have an armor relic, you must use it. Out of the total number rolled, reduce the total attack damage by this amount. The difference is the damage dealt. Yeah, that makes sense. That's pretty straightforward. And then reduce the pips of your life die by the damage dealt. If the damage dealt exceeds the number of pips remaining on the life die, replace it with an extra life and continue. Right, so damage rolls over. If you have no extra life, see martyrdom. So return to this step if you recover. So martyrdom seems like the end of this, so to speak. Rel says the gentle music. I'm sorry, do you want something a little spookier? Give me a second. I'll switch to something spookier. Only because you asked for it. How's that? Is that any better? Does that set the mood? I only have 2 different tracks for these streams. One is happy Zelda music, the other is spooky music, and there's really no in between. It's something I've been waiting to work on. But hi. Hello, Worrell. Welcome to the stream. I don't know if I've seen you before. Anyway, So the angel attacks you, damage rolls over, and if you have no extra lives, if you hit 0, see martyrdom. And then the angel can also lose attack dice. And if it runs out of all of its attack dice, it leaves it behind its fragments for you to collect. Okay, so after the attack, I'm guessing it goes first. You can retaliate. You can choose a weapon and roll d6 equal to its power, and then you do the same thing. It doesn't look like... Wait, do they have armor? I don't think these guys have armor. They just have life. So maybe this isn't that bad. I know your armor reduces their damage, but they don't have armor to reduce your damage. Great. Cool. And if you if you beat the angel, you take all of its godspark fragments. If this does not reduce the angel to 6 with pips of life, the saint's turn ends. Choose a miracle. So miracles are special abilities that can use your godsparks. I'm guessing they're very powerful, and we haven't quite looked at it. Triple person says, give us heavy metal. First of all, copyright-free, royalty-free heavy metal, pretty hard to find. Also, really bad for being the undercurrent of narrating. unless I have to yell over it, but that's a whole different vibe. But yeah, I agree. Heavy metal would probably be a closer vibe for this game. Yeah, that's real. That's true. Okay, and then this is how you escape if you are a wimp and want to run. This is what you use to escape. So we're not going to look at that because we're not going to escape. We're going to fight or die. And these are examples of miracles. It says here, the Ascension Miracle is the only way for a saint to escape the purgatory of Ruina Dei. The goal again is to collect all the godsparks and perform this miracle to win. To perform a miracle, choose a miracle from the next page. Some can only be performed at 1 power, others can be performed at multiple powers. Great. Cool. Nice. Choose how many godsparks you'll risk to perform the miracle, and then as always, if whenever you roll a 1, you lose an available godspark. Yes. So miracles are risky because oh shoot. So let's see. Yeah, so these godsparks are represented by d6s, and if you roll a 1, they fade, but apparently a fading godspark is a thing. So let's figure out what a fading godspark is. But if you roll a number of d6s higher than the required power of the miracle, then the miracle is successful. And there's 2 exceptions here that we can that we don't really care about right now, only if we end up choosing them. Anytime a godspark fades while performing a miracle, put a mark in fading godsparks. These are single-use resources that allow you to reroll any dice and use whichever result you prefer. Great. These are really important. It's good to have these because, boy, rolling a 1 is very bad. Great. And then you could... fading godsparks can only be used once to reroll. This is an example of godsparks. Okay. When we run into these, we'll talk about them. But these seem pretty useful in the long run. Do we have all of these available to us? Like always? Oh, I guess so. Okay, so we don't have to care about these until we get a godspark, but these are probably useful for traversing the map and getting out of bad situations. And then winning the game is power 6. Power 6? That's insane. Oh, you can't see it. Let me open zoom in. So, looking at this, right? Ascension is power 6, which basically means that you need, when you use this ability, you need to roll 6 godspark dice, which means you have to have 6 godsparks. And all of the godsparks need to roll 2 or higher. So It's possible to have 6 available godsparks, attempt the miracle, attempt the ascension, and then if you roll a 1, it fails because see, you need to be greater than equal to the power of the miracle to be successful. Which means that you not only need 6 godsparks, you should probably have 1 or 2 fading godsparks to make sure you have the opportunity to reroll any 1s that you might get, else you risk failing. Yeah, that's tough. Okay, cool. Pretty useful. And then apostles are people that can help you, I'm guessing. And they have like starting powers. I'm not going to read this too hard because I don't think it's too pressing to read. If it happens, it happens, and then we'll learn what it does then. But I'm assuming these are like little helpers that can assist you along the way in situations where you are conducting unholy violence. And martyrdom is the lose condition, as I remember. This is when you run out of life pips. When you're all out of life, this is what happens. Saints of Ruina Dei are not exactly alive, therefore dying again is a complicated process. There are 3 ways martyrdom can occur. This is when your life die is reduced to 0. So what happens here? Roll a d6 when you're reduced to 0. If the number has not been crossed off in the death circle, cross it off now. Yeah, shoot, what is that? Death circle. Oh, okay. So you see this? When you go to 0, you're going to roll a d6, and the number that you roll, you cross out the number on the death die. So if you roll 2, you cross out 2. Now, as I'm understanding this, your saint recovers the damage with this many pips and 1 new power 1 relic of your choosing. If the rolled number has already been crossed off and you can't re-roll with fading godsparks, you just die. So you can only roll 2 once throughout your playthrough. And then existential decay, you lose 1 pip of life at the end of each round. Oh, okay. You just lose pip slowly every round. Huh. As you cannot perform the extend life or extension miracles, your saint's body crumbles. As you fall to the ground, you realize what the piles of ash were that you have seen during your travels. Grim reminders to dead memorials to dead saints lying undisturbed in this airless prison. The game's over. Dang. So extend life is this one. Exchange 1 extra godspark for 1 extra life. Does not require a roll, but does take an action during unholy violence. Okay. So you kind of just gotta... So you're just spending a full available godspark, and that counts as a full extra life, which gives you 6 more pips. Okay. That's fine. You just have to make sure you have a godspark to spare. Which basically means you have to, if I'm understanding this correctly, you have to gain godsparks at a faster rate. I mean, that's a given, right? You have to spend godsparks. You have to gain godsparks faster than you're losing them, which is once per round. So you have to gain at least 1 godspark, bare minimum, every 6 rounds, or else you'll just die. And another way to lose is if you've explored all 4 levels of the final godfall and you don't have enough godsparks to perform the miracle, then you also die. Okay, that's a fun little challenge. You know what? A game in which I didn't know anything about walking into it and truly had no context to the meaning of. This is really interesting to me. This is super interesting to me. I find, and hear me out because I know I'm wrong, but I'm chalking this up to inexperience. I find that there is a bit of a lack of skill expression in many solo journaling games because they're, journaling, right? When you play alone, it's about the words. It's about the story you weave for yourself, right? And I think I like how this game you're forced to make meaningful decisions. There's multiple resources to balance. There's choices you have to make mechanically. Should you choose to ignore all prompts for storytelling and all prompts for character growth, if you just want a game with numbers that's a challenge and you want to treat it like a game of solitaire, this game can do that. It's actually really interesting how just off the cuff, I can probably run this game really quick should I know the rules without role playing. It's just a game. Like, it's just a solid mechanical game. And the decision making changes every game, right? The situation changes. It's very roguelike-y, I guess, is the vibe is I'm getting. Like, obviously when you're looking at this map, if you imagine you start, I'm gonna start drawing, give me a second. Imagine you start like right here. Oh my gosh, why is that so small? Where is width of pen? Where is width of pen? That's too big. So imagine I start like right here, right? This is me. I rolled this to start right here, but the god drops right here, right? So I have to make a choice, and when I get over to this god, there could be another god that drops right here or right here, right? And it changes what decisions I have to make in terms of travel, in terms of distance. But sometimes you could just be like real lucky, and it starts here, and then here, and then here, and that's just a totally different game. And obviously the armor you choose every game is different. I think it is nice every now and then to have a solo game where I don't really need to roleplay. I could just play the game really quick through the mechanics, and it's fine, and it works, and it sings, right? There are games where their strength is journaling, their strength is storytelling. And I don't think this game is devoid of that, right? I don't think this game has no personality, because that's insane. There's already so much stuff going on here, and towards the end, which I've peeked at, there are like things that happen. So for example, if you pull a queen, no, let's do something else. Let's do something more. Yeah, there's a king, right? It tells you what you see. There's a tunnel, there's running water, there's footsteps. Obviously you can paint this picture, you can make it look really nice and actually start writing a story behind it, but it's a game that stands on its own mechanical feet. It's just an interesting game to play. It's not always the case when it comes to tabletop RPGs, because the emphasis is RPGs, right? So I just find that interesting and cool. If I were to ever make a solo game, not that I will anytime soon, but there was one game I was thinking of workshopping when I really wanted to write a game for myself, and I have like 5 or 6 pages on what that looks like, and it's about kind of innocently a little dragon doing errands underground, running through tunnels and visiting different dragons and collecting things all through these tunnels. And you draw cards and you see where you go and things like that. So I'm seeing a lot of those same beats in this game, which is really nice because it's a lot of mechanics I really enjoy. I remember we covered a game way back when, which started me on this track, which was Firelights by RP. I'm not going to guess how to say your last name. Fari RPGs. Firelights got me on the idea that like you can use cards to make a map and you can move. Obviously there's the card system the Dragon Dowser is based on. So the idea that like there's like a system to generate the map, to generate the obstacles, and then a mechanical system behind it that you could just play without having to write meaningful words, I guess, is nice. It's just nice. Not to say that it's greater or lesser than any other version of any other game, but it's something that I appreciate. And I see that there's a lot of thought behind this, because I love that. Because when I read this, right, and when I read the concept of existential decay, it reads to me like we need something to put on pressure, right? We need something to make people hurry towards the goal. Very much rules are made to enforce a motif, enforce an idea. A lot of mechanics are used to enforce a sense of urgency, which is this round mechanic. All three of these are really good because they kind of enforce the vibes of this game. They kind of like reinforce how you're supposed to feel when you play it. 1, things are violent and dangerous and you could die, right here. 2, you will eventually die if you do nothing. There's no such thing as a content life here in the world of Ruina Dei, right? You cannot simply sit still. You have to move. You have to do something, else you just die. And then time is when you have exhausted all the resources available to you. All the gods have fallen, all the gods are gone, all the GODSPARKs have been collected, and there's nothing left. So it's you or somebody else, right? Which is so good in enforcing. Oh, this is a really cool little thing here that I didn't even notice. It's a really cool, like, system of urgency that I really like here. Nice. That was a fun read. And then these are guides on how to play it. This is an example of how to play. I believe on the itch.io page, and I can double check right now. Yeah. So we go to Chrome again. If you look over here, there's literally a guide made by the creator of this game, Alan Hall, on how to play this. A little demonstration, I believe, of how it goes. So if you need an example of what this game looks like when it plays, yeah. So Trekkie, welcome back. Nice to see you again. So this game is called, if you missed it, this game is called GODSPARK. I'll just bounce to the top because we're going to get there eventually. This game is called GODSPARK. Your goal is, as a saint, you are collecting the remaining fragments of life energy from the gods that fall from the sky as they die. You have 16 rounds to collect as many GODSPARKs as you can. The goal is to collect 6 and perform an ascension that lets you leave this purgatory-like state. You either get those 6 GODSPARKs and ascend, or die trying. Rel, you could totally send it my way. Obviously, I can't make any promises of what games I cover, mostly because I'm only covering a finite amount. But absolutely, let me see what you're working on. You can send it to my email address, thewintrywyvern@gmail.com. That's the easiest way to do it. If I choose to cover a game on stream, I usually try to buy a copy. I've bought every game that I've covered. If they're not like available in a bundle on itch or available for free online by default, I usually try to pay for it. So send it. If you want to let the chat know what you're working on, you're more than welcome to do that. But you can always just shoot me an email, thewintrywyvern@gmail.com. Thank you. So let's recap what this game looks like, right? This is a general workflow of this game. This is available right at the front if you need a quick guide and don't want to read through the whole book again. So you name your saint, you get 6 life, you get 6 life pips, and then you roll to see where you are placed on this hex map in Ruina Dei. At the start of any round, you cross off the round that you're on. If there's any X on the god's rows, so if there's any god that falls on this round, so for example, Gemma falls in round. Let me show you. For example, Gemma falls on round 6, and Andraxon falls on row 10. So if a god falls during that round, make sure to mark it by rolling exactly where it falls. And then you can choose between traveling and exploring. Traveling is getting from one place to another on the hex crawl map. Exploring is when you've arrived on the space of a god and you wish to enter inside. So on travel, you move your token to an adjacent hex, or you can use a transport relic to travel faster. Obviously, there's a little bit of travel time between each god. End of the round. You can perform any miracles. You can reduce your life by 1 pip. and you go back to the beginning round at the top. So after you've traveled quite a bit to get to a godfall, you eventually explore. If this is the first time you're entering the godfall, circle the number of the gods, how many godsparks are available inside. So I will pull that up again. So like if you get to Triamba at round 6, and if you get to Munjor at round 6, then it'll only have 3 godsparks inside. So you deal a roll of these cards face down on the table, and that'll be the number circled, plus the number of godfall levels of this god you've already explored. I see. Maximum of 6 cards. Flip the first card, place a token on it, resolve the godfall event from this card's entity into divinary. Continue flipping cards, moving your token and resolving events. When there are no more face down cards, the godfall level is complete. Okay. Now we're gonna try, keyword try, a round or 2 of this. Let's see what this looks like. I'm not gonna waste too much time on character creation. It really is just naming your dude. But we're gonna roll some dice and get this set up and see what it looks like. We might try a couple rounds of travel, and we'll investigate one godfall, and we'll see where it goes from there. So if I do this, then I erase. Does it erase everything? Yes, it does. Golly. Paint does not have any layers. I'm sure that's fine. Oh, layers. Whoa. Paint has layers? Since when does paint have layers? Today I learned. Did paint always have layers? That's cool. I didn't know that. Wait, is this good? Am I working here? Yeah. Okay, let's work with that. So, place a D6 on the life die with a 6 on top. So, a layer, new layer. And we're gonna draw on. So if I do, wait, so now it's a layer. Oh, nope. I can do this. Believe in me. Okay, right? And then I erase. Beautiful. Great, 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 great. Okay, let's roll. One day, I'm going to have a dice roller. And it's going to be so smooth and effortless. And we're not going to have to keep bouncing between that and Chrome to make this work. So roll D66. 2, 4. So we are starting... 2, 4. We're starting here. This is where we are. I'm just gonna circle. This is where we start. Okay? That makes sense. And then we start on round 1. Okay, we can do this. We can do this, guys. So on round 1. So we cross off 1, right? And then we have Triamba. So that's 4. Now we roll to see where Triamba lands, right? If I'm not mistaken. Oh, it's next to me. Okay, so I start where Triamba is. Cool, cool, cool. You know what? Since we're only playing like a couple rounds of this, we're just going to drop Triamba somewhere so we can simulate travel. So let's roll to see where Triamba drops. This is a hypothetical. Triamba doesn't really drop anywhere. Oh, 2-3. It's right next to us. So we didn't really have to travel at all, which is great. Triamba is here. Right there. So 2-3 is right next to us. 2-4 is here. So we are going to travel. One round of travel. So we're up to 2. Which means that Munjor falls on round. This is so messy. I'm so sorry, Alan Hall. I'm so sorry that this is as messy as it is. I'm just going. I'm only playing out these couple rounds. So a travel round happened. Now we're on round 2. Munjor falls. Gonna roll for Munjor. Golly gee, we're gonna make this happen if it's the last thing I do. 5-1. Great. Fantastic example. 5-1 is over here. So Munjor falls all the way over here, which is crazy far, right? That's crazy far. I would have to move 4 spaces to get to it. So what I'm going to do on this turn, instead of going to Munjor, is just exploring Triamba. So what we're going to do is go back to here. And now that we are in Triamba, we can deal 4 cards. Right? Let me see if I can get that going. Yeah, see, look. We're going to deal a roll of cards face down on the table. Number of cards is equal to the number circled on the godfall countdown, right? Flip the first card, place a token on it, and resolve the godfall event. Sure. So I'm... Oh my gosh. Deck of cards online. We're just going to go to a random. This is so jank. I'm so sorry. It's a deck of cards. I'm going to shuffle. Yeah. Then we need 4 cards. 1, 2. Oh, wait. This is actually great. What the heck? This is exactly what we need. If you just look up deck of cards online, you find exactly what you need. What do we have to do here? Flip the first card. Place a token on it. Okay. 6 of hearts. So, 6 of hearts. We're going to go to the divinary. And we're going to see what that resolves to. We are in Triamba, right? 6 of hearts. So that's here, right? Yeah, here. Godfall events. A cramped library. Motes of dust shuffle in shafts of sunlight from windows high on the walls. The smell of leather and old paper brings back memories of your previous life. Choose a difficulty level and either gain 1 GODSPARK fragment +1, or if this area is empty, 0. Difficulty level. Okay, so we got 6 of hearts, right? Standard, hard, impossible. What does that mean? Difficulty level. How do we determine difficulty level? Let's go back here. Oh. Choose a difficulty level. So what? I'm just gonna I'm just gonna choose standard, guys. Let's keep it standard. That seems fine. I'm gonna gain 1 GODSPARK fragment. from being here. Standard. Great. Cool. So on my on my thingy. So wait, I have 6 here, right? Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I could do that better. This is so jank. I'm so sorry. This could have looked so much nicer. But I have 6 life right now, right? And now I have 1 fragment die because I just got it. Yeah. Alright, let's flip the next card. We are getting through this. I can only imagine how fast this game moves when you know what you're doing. 3 of diamonds. Stellar. That's still here. We continue to travel through this cramped library, and we're going to gain 1 more GODSPARK fragment because that's over here. Fantastic. Nice. So that is another mark here. Really cool. We're going to flip the next card. Guys, we might just ace this. This could be so easy. Another GODSPARK, right? Another GODSPARK fragment, if I understand this correctly. Yes, that is correct. Cool. Okay, so that means we get another fragment. Pop. And we're going to flip the last card and hopefully ace this level. Yeah, that's another one. Okay, so we have collected 4 fragments on the first level. Mostly a library, nothing to worry about. Sounds pretty good, pretty easy. So, let's continue to the second level, which is 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Roll. Queen. Okay, so this is the first encounter, I think. Nope. Cobblestone street. Small houses stand to either side, dark, cold, and decrepit. At the corner, a small fire burns in a metal barrel. Gain 1 GODSPARK fragment. Cool. I'll gladly take that. Next card. Do I need to go to the next round? I believe so. Let me double check. It's a good point, Wink. Let me see. When there are no more face down cards. This god, yes. So when, oh, let me put it up. So when there are no more face down cards, the level changes. Move the used card to the discard pile. Oh, okay. Yeah. So what you should do at the end of that round is remove life by 1 pip, right? So let's start with the deck, obviously. Let's do that first. So these all go to the discard pile. Like, we don't need these anymore. Then I reduce my life by 1 pip. Let me erase that. And then I can choose to continue going up. So hypothetically, the queen gave us 1. Let's see if the jack gives us 1. What happens on jack? Shamba, yep. Okay, and so jack is an example of finding 1 relic. So we would roll this Triamba relics table. Let's roll a d6. I can only imagine this moves so smoothly when you already know how to play this game. 4, which means I get a power 1 transport, which is pretty useful. I don't think I'll be using it for this game though, because I'm trying to clear Triamba, right? So my transport is now 1. I'm sorry. Power 1 transport, and now we're on round 2. So over here. No, we're on round 3. I'm sorry. We're on round 3. We can just comfortably erase this because we haven't even reached Mundro yet. We're still in Triamba. And then obviously we continue on with the roll system. There it is. Let us roll. Oh, let us roll. Let us check the cards. The queen gave us 1 fragment. The jack gave us 1 relic. The king. Why am I getting so many kings? Why am I getting so many face cards? The king, an open field with a steel gray sky above. The air is still. Again ahead, a hulking construction of wood and bone lies shattered. A scion of Triamba killed by another saint. Gain 2 GODSPARK fragments. Okay, so it seems like... Oh, okay. So we shouldn't have gone to... As demonstration purposes, we shouldn't have gone to Triamba, right? Because it's mostly... So all... Basically what this is saying, all the results are good. In Triamba, not to spoil any other godfalls, Triamba is a very benevolent god. 2 to 9 gains us 1 GODSPARK fragment. A roll of 10 gives us a relic. Roll of jack gives us a relic. Queen gives us a fragment. King gives us 2 fragments. And then ace gives us 6 fragments. So the whole point of Triamba is to build up all of your resources before you move to a god that actually has angels. So it's kind of the farm up beginner level, tutorial level before you continue on to the next game, which is fine. But can I want to see if I can find an angel here. Scion of Manjor. So you are attacked by... So in the next one, you can be attacked by a Whisper of Manjor. So if we wanted to simulate that, right? Let's pretend... Where's here? Whisper, right? These are the stats of a Whisper. 6 pips, 1d6, fragments 3. In the situation that I were to fight one, and I only have 5 life die, right? So if this is what's happening here, I need a weapon. Let's just pretend I got a weapon 1. Let's just pretend that in Triamba I found weapon 1. Thank you, Wink, for following so closely. I appreciate your attentiveness. Let's pretend I have weapon 1, and armor 1, hypothetically, right? So in this situation, I would roll to see how hard the Whisper hits me, right? So Whisper hits me for 4, right? 4 damage against me. I would roll my armor to protect against it. 5, which means I cancel out all the damage, I'm pretty sure, right? That's how damage works? Yeah, so add up the total number rolled, that's damage dealt. Yeah, so in this situation, since their roll is lower than my armor, I don't take any damage. And if I don't have a weapon, I have the option to run. Yes, Thumper. That's exactly right. So in the inverse, angels don't have armor. So in the hypothetical that I have a 1 weapon, I would swing my d6 and deal 2 damage. And then the angel The angel's HP would reduce down to 4 because it has 6, right? So it dealt 0 damage. I dealt 2 damage. That's the fight so far. We're just gonna swing until one of us dies. I think that makes sense. Let's just swing till one of us dies. This is the basic bare bones of battle. There's nothing else. This cannot be simpler, right? So it swings. 2 damage. I block with armor. I take nothing. Wonderful. I swing. I deal 5 damage and the angel drops. The angel drops. I pick up the 3 fragments within its body and we keep going, right? But obviously that gets sketchy if I was fighting a scion, for example. If I was fighting a scion rolls 2d6, so 1, 2, right? That's 9 damage. So no matter what I roll on my armor, I won't be able to block all of it. Even though I rolled the max here, I still take 3 damage for fighting a scion because my armor isn't high enough to deal. In the hypothetical, eventually I'll roll it. Nope, I'm rolling really well. Nope, still rolling really well. There. In the hypothetical that I roll a 1, I lose that armor. I lose that die. It's gone. So my armor permanently drops to 0, and the relic, I'm assuming, is gone, right? So this can happen to your weapons. This can happen to your armor. There's a 1 in 6 chance of either of those degrading, changing the tides of battle. Yeah. That's the game. You battle it out. You collect GODSPARKs. Triamba, you farm Triamba, and you hope you survive the other 3. Because I'm assuming after Triamba, these godfalls become much more dangerous. Even Munjor had a scion already, so there's definitely a risk in traveling. But if you can successfully, and this is the win condition of the game, if you can navigate to all 4, what was it, Gemma, right? Gemma, and then something that starts with A. If you can travel to all 4 godfalls, collect 6 GODSPARKs worth of GODSPARKs. If you can collect 36 fragments to make 6 GODSPARKs, and then you pass your ascension miracle, then you win the game. But if and only if you have all those resources and you don't roll a 1 on any of these. It's a challenge. I'm sure it's beatable. I'm sure luck will help you. There's some meaningful decisions along the way, and you best hope that there aren't any crazy angels ready to kill you. That is GODSPARK. That's the game. Again, if you want to find it, if you want to find GODSPARK, if you want to find this game, you can find it on itch.io. Click. I would recommend you find it here, itch.io. There is a video you can watch on how to play it in case you need another demonstration. Probably much cleaner than what I... And that's all for this stream. Next week, we are covering Apothecaria. Apothecaria is a game I've been looking at for a real long time and I've had for a real long time. So when you are next week, hopefully, you can tune in for that. Here, Apothecaria. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. That is all for the stream. Thank you for tuning in, old faces and new. Have a wonderful day and stay frosty.